It's just a toy that I got recently. I've been using this to run some air conditioning supplementally to one of my other solar systems. Funny number. This is a Sunny Boy SB700U 120 volt AC output grid tie inverter, which was made November of 2010, so it's actually quite late for one of these, because I think sometime around, maybe was it 2005, it was actually a UL and various other regulatory what have you requirement that grid tie inverters, at least straight grid tie inverters like this, that take DC angry pixies from a photovoltaic array and turn that into AC angry pixies to shove into the building electrical system. These couldn't be a thing because it didn't want people just hooking these up to some modules and just randomly plugging them in. Of course, this only applies to straight grid tie inverters where that's all it does. Grid tie battery backup inverters, like really old examples such as the Outback GVFX series, those could exist because those are battery backup inverters in addition to just being grid tie. Likewise, the single phase 120 volt Solarc 5Ks, those fall under the same exemption because it is a battery backed inverter that happens to be capable of grid tie. One interesting thing about this is that I haven't actually heard of these before, even though this is marked on the box as being a SB700U, which is 700 watt GTI. The screen actually says SB725, implying 725 watts. So this might be some kind of an upgraded version, because even after these were quasi-outlawed for regular applications, although they did still make them for replacement purposes, I know you could buy these as recently as like the mid to late 2010s. These actually had a fairly big home in educational and demonstration systems. Like sometime around the Second Punic War, back when I was, for one of my 50 million engineering degrees, I built a system using one of these, 13, 15 years ago now. It's been an age. Just because it's very simple to hook up. You just hook up some modules, plug it in. It isn't going to be running for an extended period of time, and the building you're backfeeding is going to have so much load on that given 120 volt phase. There's no risk of backfeeding the utility. So you did see these. I know, what was it? Also, Festodidactic, they made a demonstration quote-unquote solar system that had one of these to simulate a GTI where everything ran on just a 120 volt receptacle. But what that used is 120 volt AC input DC power supply to simulate the photovoltaic array. And then that fed into this, and this, of course, backfed into the same AC circuit that was supplying the power supply. So effectively, most of the power in the system was just circulating between this thing and the power supply. The only thing coming out of the grid connection to the thing would be the losses in the inverter and the power supply, of course. And of course, here's the guts of the inverter. Very interesting thing to note about the design of this, especially if you get a hold of one of these. You actually need to adjust this jumper here. It's been off for long enough that it's not an electrocution hazard inside. No capacitor bleed out on the light. You need to adjust this jumper based on the operating potential characteristics of the photovoltaic array you connect it to. In this position here, it's good for 125 to 250 volt MPPT operation. For 100 volt to 200 volt MPPT operation, it needs to be in this middle position, and for 75 volt to 150 volt MPPT operation, it needs to be in the position on the left. Also, and it is marked on the display circuit board here, those jumpers, which are, of course, actually I think those might be 100 mil. They look like maybe they might be a little bit smaller. That 200 volt position, if this jumper for the power section is in the 200 volt or 100 volt to 200 volt position, you need to put a shunting jumper between that set of pins right there marked 200 volts and in the 75 volt to 150 volt position over there, it needs to be in the 150 volt position marked as such here. Of course, no jumper is required if it's set to 250 volt maximum operation, which is also the absolute maximum rating of this inverter, as I have set there. Also, these switches here on the display, all these change is the language of the information displayed on it. In this position, with this switch, was it S2 set to B and S1 set to A, that displays in English. The other settings, which I don't remember off the top of my head, are Spanish, French, and of course German, given that this is a German-made inverter, because, you know, SMA. But yeah, not a whole lot in here. You know, fairly typical design of the time. Also, another important thing to note is that it has this fuse on the bottom of the case. That is the ground fault protection fuse, because the design of this is old enough that photovoltaic arrays had to be negatively grounded. This is for detecting negative ground faults. So of course this will blow and it'll shut down the inverter if there's a ground fault in the photovoltaic array, which again tells you how old the design of this thing is, because they got rid of that requirement in 2005. That's when you could have positive ground and ungrounded arrays, like for example what SolarX use, because I may have 3 of them, where the quote-unquote negative of the thing sits at about usually negative 250 volts to ground in normal operation. And of course there's the LEDs. It's missing a couple of light pipes because I did get this used, but I also got this for astronomically cheaper than these are new, because you can't even get these things anymore. And because, as said earlier in the video, the principal market for these things is educational systems, people typically want a pretty penny for these new old stock. I've seen, what is it, upwards of $1,500, and these weren't cheap new. These were, I think, about $1,000 in like the late 2000s when I started getting into solar. Of course, this is also a time when $5 a watt was stupid cheap for photovoltaic modules, as opposed to 3.5 cents a watt that I paid a couple of years ago, but that was also under very unusual conditions that aren't readily replicated. But, you know, well under $1 a watt is par for the course, at least for larger size modules. Which, speaking of modules, if you get a hold of one of these things, because of the power limits, because again 700 watts in the 125 to 250 volt range setting, and it's I think 600 watts for 100 to 200 volts, and 460 watts for 75 to 150 volts potential range. Yeah, some things like super high current, you know, more than 10 ampere string current modules, you're not going to be able to use them with this thing. But it will work with your smaller, like 50, 80, 100 watt modules. But again, just make sure you set it correctly, and also remember these jumpers. But yeah, it's overall not that bad if you've got especially a solar system where you want to supplement the use of a high draw 120 volt appliance, like say the air conditioning that is running in the background. And also you have a main system inverter that can handle A, being grid forming, and B, being backfed on its quote-unquote load output, like again the SolarX can. But yeah, funky stuff, and you know, interesting little toy.